Good morning, dear friends. It's a Friday, and some are very quick to add the phrase, thank God it's Friday. Well, to some, it is giving thanks to God, but to some others, it is only a time to begin celebrating not going to work from Friday. Well, for us here, thank God it's Friday means ye de radiasi. Se odi ababedu empompon so ete se na wotwe na kwapro asan baba beto. Very soon we will take a break and go into the weekend to have some rest. Ni nyina yeda eradiase se radia ya de kese dia ene yenko radiase mu na yenko pone na sem ni bi ni nyina so ni yemfa nhye ye hu nkran nhye mreni.
Levi na waka onika ne mokeje Matthew sani pakwale ichu dindi nwake ne hunkeje kuku neji nwake edwe ga kanyo ake shi Yesu ke nya ha gbeke bi ile abami ngo ni nya kachia amegbe eja ake me nitamo me ne me ano jingwe manche yelile. Amen. And then the English reads as follows. Matthew chapter 19 verse 14. Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of God belongs to such as these." The word of God.
Thanks be to God. The presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, Ghana, Professor 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗘 has said that the children, as we say, are not the future of the church. The children, they are not really the future of the church. In fact, the children are now. They are now. Because if we don't have the children now, we obviously don't have a future. So in his opinion, and that is what Jesus has simplified. Now, so once in the lifetime of Jesus, children were coming. I'm sure they had followed their parents to church, they had followed their parents to the crusade. Now, bra one ban na empenifoni bi kase hwe Petro no James no Yohane so nkwala montena mama no papa no nkwala montena na Jesus kase dabi now. If you want to get it right, if you want to get the church right, if you want to get the family right, if you want to get the nation right, then listen to what Jesus Matthew chapter 19 verse 14. The gospel according to St. Matthew chapter 19 verse 14. Jesus said, "Let the children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as this." Yesu what the hamano abo dadwano so say was a share. Emofra na ene omotena wa ebi tikese ebi na hwahwahwa ebi efu kese de na Sunday school wo mo ene ye da chema presiding room, admin room, software room, lay president room, suma president room, men's fellowship chairman room, kwalani nie. It's mumra. Let them get closer to us. Let's teach them the way of the Lord. Do not hinder them, because those children, if you hinder them, you only expose them to the vicissitudes of this world. Anope kwalani ben. Anope wobano maneme wo ne kyerɛkyerɛ no bie nioma bi so kyerɛkyerɛ no ejapade no kyerɛkyerɛ no sɛde yeyɔ no enko ha kro no ba ne kyerɛkyerɛ sɛde be ya daache ebeye ne dia. Well, we are aligning ourselves to the favorite statement of the presiding bishop of the Methodist Church. The children are not the future, they are the now, they are the present. Let's all continue to embrace the weakness, including the strength, consolidating the strength of our children and capacitating them for the future. Radin Shankwala, Radin Nkwala nyina kese. No mmeye te sempinifo ewo Yesu ne denemo.
Amen.
Ewo Yesu demo.
Amen.
All right, on that accord, let's reflect on the hymn for the morning. right, so in the garden of the Lord, there are supposed to be several flowers. Indeed, plants that has gone through the process of photosynthesis and have grown to become very, very important. But to some others, they are only flowers, and this is what Jesus does to them. Christ, the loving gardener, turns these blossoms small, loves the little lilies as the cedars tall. Christ now was a fool. Enuaba na eya kese no aye nua no wopo mo asem na emu enketo so aye nhwiren no wotwitwa wobubu wotwitwa wohwehwe nsogu so eno na eye emofrey. Bless God for the hymn from 𝗟𝗚𝗏𝗏, who lived between the years 1841 to 1931, MHB 843, in our dear Lord's garden. Another production by the 𝗟𝗓𝗏𝗍 media team. Sing one hymn a day. Methodist phone you can say Christ into you. Christ into you. Christ into you. And I will serve
the church.
All right, that is the spirit of the Wesleyans. We are ready. To him we sadia na mujano edie frusane sane yeniaje. So we are ready. Well, Miss Na has the itinerary, and there we go.
Well, thank God it's Friday. We are excited because we are finally going to take some 2 days off work. But we are not excited to leave you.
My friend, 2 days of work. It's not 2 days of work.
2 days off work.
Off work?
Yes.
2 days off work. We are starting burial. Today. Today, tomorrow.
Well, so to those burying their loved ones, our condolences reaches out to you this morning. But from here, we'll bring you the Wesleyan News updates. We would also remember to bring you the newspaper headlines. And so all the papers from the various news outlets would also bring you that update. We would also make sure that we add some health tidbits. Let's take a look at what is happening in our bodies, and our health as one of the important aspects of our lives. We'll also bring you some tidbits on insurance, and we won't forget to also add 𝗟𝗏𝗘 to it. 𝗟𝗏𝗘 is a favorite part of the show where you'd also step in with your calls. That is after our news analysts have delved deeper into the stories and given us some comments and some contributions, some advices to the different stories we'll be reading later this morning. We'll also go on to the field of play, bring you all the updates on the sports front, be it tennis, football, whatever sporting discipline you're interested in. Stay glued to your television set. Well, asem 𝗟𝗏𝗏 so ebeba na ene asem 𝗟𝗏𝗏 no, because it's a Friday, we are focusing on foster parenting. We are asking this question: what was your experience staying with a foster parent? And so if you've had an opportunity na oni obia sebi onye o mami onye o papa na so akotena ni nchen ya ohwe, what is the experience like? Ofreyana oni edisa en common ene papa the very reverend Dr. Abraham Boate Love Like Sobolo ene obegina kunya na afi oni akọ ensem ni mu na yehu baby a ejina bia ewo emrepamu no ye the WhatsApp on social media be bro ye the celebrations so be ka ho nti odi birthday na unyamfa picture and send e ampacho. And now the picture na send e fadinka ho na afi fa message kakra e ka ho emfa mai ye wo ha would always celebrate a special person for you.
All right, say 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏 sadia na aseda PSC aseda murunku aseda twitwiridi ana anope yede ma aboafo a wo ma so yen asene na aboafo edie se moamunimu Methodist University eguso eboa wonwoma bebre enkanka se adesuafo obenya konya na omde esuade na mepacho na no nkwala bi ko school omuwie na your certificate kra yehu ba bi enam na yesese nkra akọwe wo registrar na office of send you pacho ko ba bi ayenka story ncho transcript to be akamankan ye nursing program no bibi agina deeper excellence, morality and service.
We say thank you to 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏 Insurance Company. If you're here to buy an insurance policy or you want to change your insurer, please, 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏 Insurance Company is there to accommodate you. There are a lot of insurance policies you can sign on to. Log on to their website and read more.
All right. Say 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏 sadia na yagie ginumu say MIPL4 ye nom ebedi dwuma esanse wope asofo ntade a eye kama enye kosoro kobo obi wo hye atade na atum sa ye kosoro kobo pacho asofo ntade e gigirem wo hya wo ka say the starch e na ahye na fe so ope eye aduane bi a wobedi eno no enye aduane a sebe eye aduane a ye de timtim aye da be aduane a ewo fruit mu eno MIPL4 ne betimi aye sa ne wani nyina bi ama adabraka ana omo grand house so hwehwe omo kira kwan a pacho bomodin nebra baby a WTV studio obi hu MIPL4.
We say thank you to KFK Foods. If you want to buy your breakfast or you want to eat a sumptuous breakfast this morning and you also want to carry some along with you to your children and to your loved ones at home, please go to KFK Foods. You locate them on the ground floor of the Wesley Towers of the Ambassadorial Enclave. So if you are there, please do well to buy your foods from them because that food tastes great and it was prepared under hygienic conditions.
All right, say ye call a year and tradition dia Barbara clothing wetimi enya ntade ama ema oyi mema frimu kra nanso so obe ne dem manya emanya eti na agina he wa hwehwe ne ho te se Goliath fe fitinity mfa camera ne into ne so fitinity ko sini na ogina na nado acho edomo na ne no ni nyina Barbara clothing Barbara clothing ana wa ye ne sa ba wo hwe so ma fade a meso medi gina menye bad kra me e method sofo na so TV nteduru ba bia na mate agina mu kakra me ko eno nyina no eye Willis collection ano ayem said ye ti Willis collection pacho enyo na kam you no bo wonde ne fabra nya sa ye be announcement on TV so all right, so we continue to thank God for water, good water. Water is life. Enti Wesleyan due for anomama yensu a ye de enum anope. Me pacho se yetimi enum nsu na ye menimu da ho fine dia. Ene ye ntumrika na ye go komase ye nkohwe yadwenimu. Me pacho addiction kete ya hyehyehye ho kro na peptides for intimi enye na omomoa. Me pacho wo ye kokumase dia na ye mpese ebebe fie. Enti ebekọ so I'm run about near the ni actually a mampon kwan so tafo kwan so no even West School opposite West School a Freeman Methodist Center ukokwa ubehu say Freeman Methodist Guest House a honisi hotel bi ani Kumasi a chance a it's say sa hotel no a 3D eni ho esan say ntontom ni ho na wakaw amu anya 3D e pa cha na adwo wo da obete say him bo will your uncle hood afeso so kran anadwo wasori na TB adult kon nya afi na akọ manager any kitchen for no ase ukọ ho no wasansu ohie milo ibisisi so no ase wotigum na wanom na wada nkete bia entimencho e bia yensa mfa the only anti hotel in the whole of Ghana. Freeman Methodist Guest House ko na ko pe baby da na baby anye kama aboafo yi ana aso yemu a anope ye ho aye dendende misro say pe oboafo papa de na yewo esanse senka wantena wo TV echi enke eni ahwefuo bi a wo mo hwen enti yaseda no ye de ma opa ye da wase ye nyina ye nye krado ye twa ye ho aba say ye ba na ya ba behwe ye Wesleyan news update no nanom omo ye ready a omugina chire ho a omode news in ebryan. Well, up next is the Wesleyan news update.
Methodist University College Ghana yenya presidential charter inti efreye Methodist University Ghana enti yene upe baby pa abo wabodini enya ngumasuamu nimdie pa dia admission no ekoso postgraduate undergraduate diploma and certificate programs be to say nursing educational assessment and evaluation guidance and counseling psychology economics HRM and management studies marketing and supply chain management communications IT accounting social work port and shipping management and a PhD in education dia order for any chair Methodist University Ghana nanika sema womune say what's the candidate dia or 30% discount and 30% discount any Methodist asori menina hwehwe campuses ne bi ewo dansuman tema wanchi national song say your day any evening empo weekend sessions krampo so ewo ho mature entrance exams so ekoso enti trumika cca na admission ekoso enchemu bia no for 0558 080309059 and our website www.mug.edu.gh. MUG, the rich brand. Meth UG. We have the zeal to educate.
KFK Foods is an award-winning world-class restaurant with over 10 years experience in both local and continental dishes. We render services for parties, cafeteria services for schools and hospitals, individuals, corporates and institutions, as well as groups who want to treat their partners to delicious meals and services. We have all local and international dishes including banku with tilapia, fufu with light soup, fried rice with grilled or fried chicken, assorted fried rice, fish with chips, noodles and spaghetti, pizzas, pastries, shawarma, beef and chicken sauces. All kinds of breakfast baskets in Accra. Locate us at the Ambassadorial Enclave on the first floor of the Wesley Towers at 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. from Monday to Saturday. In Tema, locate us at Community 25 Annex, where the event center is located at 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. from Monday to Sunday. For all orders, call us on 0244 637647 or WhatsApp us on 050 33171153. KFK Foods, you deserve it. Do you need quality and professional ministerial attire? Be it cassock, clerical shirts, stoles, preaching gowns, preaching bands, wedding gowns and sanctuary vestments, then your best destination is a Methodist Investments and Properties Limited, MIPL. Individuals and churches can also contact MIPL for their African wear, both male and female, curtains, church or institutional anniversary clothing, Friday wears, mufflers, diaries, liturgy books, souvenirs, badges, Lacoste and t-shirts, among others. MIPL produces natural fruit juice such as ginger, pineapple, mango, millet, banana, as well as specially prepared ginger powder to boost your daily vitality. MIPL Property Management is also available to both individuals and corporate institutions in managing your property and providing investment solutions. Locate MIPL office at the Grant House inside Adabraka, Accra for your businesses at affordable prices, or call us on 0242 122 787. If you are looking for an office space which is spacious with a car park, 24-hour security, standby generator, then look no further. The Grant House building is up for rent and is located adjacent the Holy Spirit Cathedral, Accra. Call us on 0242 122 787. Welcome, this is the Wesleyan News Update right here on Wesleyan Television. We are coming to you live from our studios at the Grant House at Accra. Coming up, Indian company found to be behind unlicensed, highly addictive opioids illegally exported to Ghana and other West African countries. Mahama declares 2025 a year of correction with a promise to pay workers more when the economy improves. Meanwhile, the finance minister has described Ghana's economic situation as dire as Mahama holds first cabinet meeting. Also coming up, clock strike met with mixed adherence by members. These and many other stories we'll be bringing you this morning. Please, let's settle for the details. An Indian pharmaceutical company is manufacturing unlicensed, highly addictive opioids and exporting them illegally to West Africa, where they are driving a major public health crisis in countries including Ghana, Nigeria, and Cote d'Ivoire, a BBC Eye investigation has revealed. Avio Pharmaceuticals, based in Mumbai, makes a range of pills that go under different brand names and are packaged to look like legitimate medicines, but all contain the same harmful mix of ingredients, tapentadol, and a powerful opioid, and carisoprodol, a muscle relaxant, so addictive it's banned in Europe. This combination of drugs is not licensed for use anywhere in the world and can cause breathing difficulties and seizures. An overdose can kill. Despite the risk, these opioids are popular on the streets as drugs in many West African countries because they are so cheap and widely available. The BBC World Service found packets of them branded with the Avio logo for sale in the streets of Ghanaian, Nigerian, and Ivorian towns and cities. Having traced the drugs back to Avio factory in India, the BBC sent an undercover operative inside the factory, posing as an African businessman looking to supply opioids to Nigeria. Using a hidden camera, the BBC filmed one of Avio's director, 𝗦𝗏𝗡, showing off the same dangerous products the BBC found for sale across West Africa. In a secretly recorded footage, the operative tells 𝗏𝗡 that he plans to sell the pills to teenagers in Nigeria who all love this product. 𝗏𝗏 doesn't flinch. Okay, he replies, before explaining that if users take 2 or 3 pills at once, they can relax and agrees they can get high. Towards the end of the meeting, 𝗏𝗏 says this is very harmful to the health, adding, nowadays this is business. The task force in Tamale believes this man had taken tramadol, which is found in the raid, and it is business that is damaging the health and destroying potential of millions of young people across West Africa. Now, President John Dramani Mahama has called on labor unions to be moderate in their wage demands for 2025, assuring them that once the economy stabilizes, he will ensure higher remuneration for workers. Mahama made the appeal during a National Tripartite Committee meeting at the Ministry of Labour, Jobs and Employment, which he attended. Following negotiations, the committee agreed on a 10% increase in the base pay for 2025, the second wage adjustment, and less than a year after a 23% hike in 2024. Addressing union leaders, Mahama stressed the need for patience and collective effort in rebuilding the economy. He further emphasized his administration's commitment to fair wages, proposing an independent emolument committee to determine salaries for all workers, including the president. Finance Minister Dr. 𝗟𝗏𝗘 has said that the economic situation inherited by the Mahama administration is there than what he anticipated prior to the 2024 general elections. He says the numbers are not looking good. This was disclosed by the presidential spokesperson Felix Quarcoo. According to Mr. Ofosu, the finance minister said this during President John Mahama's first cabinet meeting on Thursday, February 20. Dr. 𝗟𝗏𝗘 is reported to have said that the economic situation is there. Numbers are worse than we had known in the period of election. President Mahama on Thursday announced his 19 cabinet ministers, which includes the Minister of Finance, Dr. 𝗟𝗏𝗘, Interior Minister Muntaka Mubarak, Attorney General Dr. Dominic Ayine, Education Minister Harun Idrisu, and Minister of Foreign Affairs Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa. This is pursuant to Article 76, Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution, which states there shall be a cabinet which shall consist of the President, the Vice President, and not less than 10 and not more than 19 ministers of state. Article 76, Clause 2 specifies the role of the Cabinet, stating the Cabinet shall assist the President in the determination of general policy of government. Prior to the Cabinet meeting, President Mahama hinted that he had instructed the Finance Minister to cut expenditure as much as he likes. He says this demonstrates government's commitment to rebuilding the economy. The planned strike action by the Civil and Local Government Staff Association of Ghana, 𝗟𝗏𝗃, began on February 20, 2025, with mixed adherence to leadership's directive. WTV News checks in some ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies across the nation, showed low participation of 𝗟𝗏𝗃 members in the labor action. Some staff who defied the strike action described the decision as 𝗟𝗏𝗃 leadership to vacate their posts as misguided. They indicated that there were far more pressing needs for the Ghanaian worker that needs urgent attention. Others also accused the association's leadership of being out of touch with the priorities of the nation, citing the association's decision to withdraw from a strike against Galamsey in October 2024. Despite the deviance, staff of some MDAs and MMDAs were not at post at the time of filing this report, causing disruptions in the provision of services. The Clocksack strike is in protest against the continued tenure of Samuel Adombotri at the Beds and that's registry as a registrar. Clocksack has expressed concerns over Mr. Botri's participation in the office's budget hearing at the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs on Monday, February 17, 2025, which they saw as evidence that he remains in his role contrary to government's previous commitment to replace him. The West African Gas Pipeline Company Limited, WAPCO, has announced that 70% of its ongoing maintenance work have been completed, bringing the company closer to resuming gas supply to Tema. The maintenance project, which includes an offshore pipeline cleaning and inspection exercise known as pigging, was initially scheduled for February 3, 2025 and is expected to be fully completed by March 2, 2025. Speaking at a press briefing at WAPCO site in the Tema industrial area, Engineer Benoni Owusu-Aye, the operations and maintenance superintendent for Western operations, assured the public that the company's commitment to meeting the deadline. The maintenance works are crucial to ensuring the efficiency and safety of the gas pipeline, which plays a key role in Ghana's energy supply. The New Patriotic Party has filed a notice of appeal against the conviction of 𝗟𝗏𝗡, Member of Parliament for 𝗟𝗏𝗘, by the 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗘 High Court. The party had also filed a stay of execution pending approval. This follows the High Court in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗘 convicting the 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗃 MP for contempt of court. The ruling came after he defied an interim injunction barring him from being sworn in as a legislator. Presiding Judge Justice Senyo also issued a bench warrant for Kumi's arrest after he failed to appear before the court for sentencing. Citing overwhelming evidence of willful defiance, the court ruled that the lawmaker had acted in contempt. But addressing journalists in Parliament on Thursday, February 20, Second Deputy Minority Whip for an MP for 𝗦𝗏𝗍𝗏, 𝗟𝗜𝗓𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, announced that the legal steps have been initiated aiming to overturn the High Court's decision at the Court of Appeal. The appeal seeks to halt the execution of Kumi's sentence while the case undergoes further legal scrutiny. According to 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, all relevant parties to the certiorari and prohibition application, including His Lordship Justice Emmanuel Senyo, who presided over the initial ruling, have been duly served with the legal documents. The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa, has revealed that 44 of Ghana's forest reserves are under serious attacks by heavily armed illegal small-scale miners, galamseyers. He says that the forest guards and rapid response teams from the Forestry Commission are unable to tackle these illegal miners because they do not have the sophisticated weapons that the galamseyers possess. Briefing Parliament on the state of Ghana's forests on Thursday, February 20, the minister said Ghana's forests continue to be under serious threats of deforestation and forest degradation due to factors known to all of us. Ghana is currently faced with an unprecedented threat to our forest resources and water bodies due largely to illegal small-scale mining. He added, Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to know that out of the 288 forest reserves, a whopping 44 of these forest reserves are under serious attack by illegal miners, and they are heavily armed with sophisticated weapons and very violent with a large number of excavators, making it extremely difficult for a forest guard and rapid response to control them, since they have no such sophisticated weapons to control them. Over 9 out of the 44 forest reserves have been completely taken over by these illegal mining thugs with impunity. The Forestry Commission no longer has access to these forest reserves. Prior to his submission, the Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, Ibrahim Murtala Mohammed, has expressed the government's commitment to win the fight against illegal small-scale mining. Murtala assured that measures have been put in place to stop galamsey. On a rather sad note, celebrated Ghanaian actor 𝗟𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has passed away at the age of 63. The veteran actor succumbed to his injuries on Thursday, February 20, at the Ridge Hospital, where he was receiving treatment after sustaining severe burns in a fire accident about a week ago. His condition was first made public on February 8, 2025 by Judith Addison of Beyond Burns International, a non-profit organization dedicated to advocating for and supporting burns survivors. She reported that 𝗟𝗏𝗏 was in critical condition following the accident. 𝗟𝗏𝗏, widely regarded for his contributions to Ghanaian theatre and film, lives behind a legacy of remarkable performances that shaped the country's entertainment industry. His passing is a significant loss to the creative arts community, with tributes already pouring in from colleagues and fans. Rest in peace, Senior Mauli 𝗟𝗏𝗏, Ken Fatia, one of the colleague actors, wrote on Facebook. He has featured in films such as Harvest at 17, A Stab in the Dark, Escape of Love, Love Cotton Twines, and The Good Old Days, The Love of AA. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the Wesleyan News Updates. For more news, log on to any of our social media platforms. My name is Anita 𝗟𝗏𝗘.
The Ghana Evangelism Committee presents the launch of the 50th anniversary, celebrating 50 years of evangelism on the theme, The Church Must Go, Matthew 28:19 and Psalm 145 verses 9.
Under the leadership of Apostle 𝗟𝗓𝗩𝗘, Chairman, Right Reverend Abraham Nana Opare-Quarcoo, Vice Chairman, Reverend Dr. Joyce Ayi, Planning Committee Chairperson, and Apostle Bright Nyamido, National Director.
Date, Tuesday, 25th February 2025. Venue, PIWC Kokomlemle Auditorium. Time, 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. sharp. Please note that all guests are expected to be seated at 5 p.m. Join us as we go out to share the gospel on this 50th anniversary. God bless you.
Words of life, words of hope, give us strength, help us.
Something in the Bible called righteous indignation. Righteous indignation is when the prophet of God is angry with injustice. Nyamankoye, nzamandideye, odede tutuye, nsandwin wankotsen wo ho. Adwen dodo no honi yeye ho.
If you look into the scripture, every individual that God uses begins by encountering God himself. When the Lord touches your mouth, he touches your mouth to bless, touches your mouth so that blessing and goodness and mercy and prosperity and words of salvation will flow from your lips. When you stand as a bishop and you speak, let the people know that wankasa Bible asem na wo kanu wakan wojidi na woni wo mo che.
Word of life, word of hope.
Welcome to the segment from the papers. This is where we bring you all the headlines of the major newspapers across the country. And so we'll take a look at our first paper, which is one of the dailies from the major news outlets across the country. Now, the Daily Graphic is reporting that 10% pay rise for government workers. Minimum wage now 19 cedis 97 pesos. Well, Ghana Health Service directs health facilities to set up PWD's desk, that is the Persons Living with Disability desk. The story in details on page 13. Page 20 says that Kwamina Asmening leads Ghana Association of Banks and Payaza launches SME funding initiative. The story in details on page 13 of the Daily Graphic. Now, on the top it says that President Mahama delivers State of the Nation address next week. Find the story in details on page 21 of the Daily Graphic newspaper. The Ghanaian Times. The most authoritative newspaper is reporting that public sector base pay goes up by 10%. Minimum wage now 19 cedis 97 pesos. President Mahama names 19-member cabinet, holds first meeting. The story is on page 11. Page 3 says that we must renew efforts to end Boko conflicts, and that is coming from the regional minister. Government takes measures to prevent perennial flooding at Odona. And so these are the stories on the front page of the Ghanaian Times as Ghana prepares into the rainy season. The Daily Post newspaper. Ghana's economy was criminally mishandled under 𝗟𝗩𝗘 President Mahama. The stories on pages 2 and 3 of the paper. Now, Volta region congratulates Right Honorable 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗍 and Kwamega Tanko. Government approves 10% salary increase for public sector workers. Plans underway for full implementation of Mahama's 24-hour economy policy. Quarcoo is saying this. Now, vetting of deputy ministerial nominees to begin on Monday. These are the stories inside the Daily Post newspaper. The Daily Dispatch. MPP's handling of the economy made Ghana a crime scene. That is coming from President John Dramani Mahama. See the story on page 12. Page 2 is reporting that 𝗟𝗩𝗘 calls for revived commitment to constitutional rule. And page 12 says that be a president for all and reverse the dismissals. Bawumia to Mahama. Government approved 10% salary increase for public sector workers. The story is on page 2 of the Daily Dispatch. Factual, reliable, lively, factual. So grab a copy of the Daily Dispatch newspaper. The New Weekend Crusading Guide. I am disappointed coup d'etats are back in fashion, says 𝗟𝗩𝗘 as he endorses book by ex-coupist. And the story is on pages 3 and 10. On World Social Justice Day, Impriaso MP calls for end to politically motivated dismissals. Volta NDC congratulates 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗍, Gabriel Tanko Kwamega. Stray bullet injures district engineer in Sugakopɛ. Bawumia hollers at Mahama. These are certainly worrying times for our democracy. Fix it. And this as a statement from the former Vice President Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. The Chronicle newspaper, the Spear of the Nation, says that foreign aid is simply not good. 𝗟𝗩𝗘𝗑 retreats in Nigeria. The story is on pages 2 and 3 of the paper. Chinese remanded into custody over alleged attempt to commit murder. Well, bullets fired by customs officer cause havoc at Sugakopɛ. Bawumia to Mahama reversed the mass dismissals. That is just beneath the paper, the Chronicle newspaper, the Friday edition. The Inquisitor is reporting that the Achim Mafia sponsors of Oriata defenders. Now, 𝗟𝗏𝗘𝗍 chairs Council of State, Michael Samson OJ. Others are members. Pages 2, 3, and 4 of the paper. COSA supports Techiman Market fire victims and NPA to deploy automated dispensers to implement 24-hour economy. I won't prejudge. Sophia 𝗟𝗩𝗘 refuses to weigh in on Chief Justice Tokono's petition. And so these are the stories inside the Inquisitor newspaper. We will end on a business note, and the Business and Financial Times, the Friday edition, says that National ID system to eliminate football age fraud. The story is on page 3. Now on insurance, Dr. Zakaria appointed insurance commissioner. Stories on page 2. SMEs more vital than ever. 15 million Ghana Cedi Fund launched to bridge financial gap. The stories on page 2. And the GCB Bank Managing Director calls on National Chief Imam. The story is also on page 2 of the Business and Financial Times newspaper. And that is how we end this segment. We won't go without bringing you the word of the day. So the word is egregious, and it means that something that is extremely bad and something that is extremely bad, this is what the word says it is. So pick your phone, go on to Google and read more about it. Do all to form sentences with it as well, and do all to populate your vocabularies. Thank you so much for watching this segment. We'll be back with 𝗟𝗡𝗙.
Praise God, praise God. Christ in tea, you respond, yeah, 𝗟𝗡𝗙. I'm excited to announce to you, friends in the Lord, are you seeking for a platform where you can pray? Open baby up a soul bomb pie. Now ninyami edi inkita home. Bibi chiroso. And I'm na the same kum. And you're coming home. Let's go into the prayer room on WTV every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. to meet seasoned ministers of God that God has raised to impact your life. Remember, John Wesley said, I have too much to do, therefore I spend several hours in prayer in able to do it. We try and say, that is why we are calling upon you. Meet myself, Reverend 𝗟𝗡𝗙, and the Evangelism Missionary Renewal Directorate as we lead you into the prayer room where we encounter Christ. And I believe your life will never be the same. Call your friends, your loved ones, every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. where we will encounter Christ. God bless you. See you on our screens on WTV every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. God bless you.
That each and every one of us
𝗟𝗡𝗙 mreni eda sese wa jimre eba behweyen anapawe eda sese wa jimre so ahweyen na ohwiwe nyina na ene yetoen komodwetwe ne so afa remedies to eye diseases. This segment is brought to you by the 𝗡𝗡𝗡 Institute located in Kumasi. Nti any addiction problem na ko 𝗡𝗡𝗡 for a ometumi aboa na wo yihu efri mokra en doctor no ayi krado ba behwe ne ma bakumienu afa remedies to eye diseases ho.
No, refractive error. Mostly in Ghana here or even around the globe, the primary intervention is spectacles. Say akolano yebe mano ahwehweniwa obehye na ama na dion hono aba fine and now say ebe relax say na enu say na be ya own straining. So when a child is suffering from myopia, we give glasses for him to see afar. But when a child is suffering from hyperopia, we give him glasses to relax the eye muscles, so that they will not overwork and then cause the headaches. So any idea back mostly no you recommend. And two, we call something contact lens. Yes, contact lens, you know, a transparent material, very small. You detail any cause you are black and so. And it's obesity. It's quite difficult to even detect. Say the person is wearing corrective contact lens. Although recently, other cosmetics ones are for this as someone cornea, but I don't know medicated, I don't know corrective one. But corrective one, a transparent one, and it's quite difficult to even detect say the person is wearing it. And mostly we recommend to people with very high refractive error. Very high one. I'll check glass now. Mostly, glass, those refractive error now high, it's very thick. And mostly I am calling it and we do more. So say, your situation now, your contact lens will be the best option. Then you recommend that. And before you even prescribe the contact lens, your environment and panity. And then the person's ocular surface, the way it is, because obi or dry eye is not a good candidate for contact lens wear. So obi nani insurance mean so you recommend spectacles and then I better recommend the man. And now say a bit me I refer for refractive surgery. But refractive surgery is mostly for myopia. Those with short-sightedness, mostly people have some misconception about glasses wear. And how people more tries to be educated. They need to wear glasses, but it's difficult. On best be accepted, so they will rather opt for the refractive surgery. They will rather opt for that. But that one too mostly is for myopia, because the purpose of it is to flatten the cornea. So obi or myopia one say it has the eyeball length, long, and I said the cornea more steeper. So you use a laser to flatten the cornea exactly so that it will reduce the.
As I said, Ojimre, it was brought to you by the PIP-TEST Institute located in Kumasi. And that's a part now. Chair Babishasi from next week on Ojimre and share Apomuding. And Ania Wabayaba an insurance minute ebetwaso.
PIP-TEST Institute. Ayaresabia Hotonia Sumdia Shehoma. Edia no wakwanchre ni adekodia poten no a epiama otokoso wa abrabomu. Nanso sensanom ni nubone fa basa betwa wa akwan mu a eyi wa adwini free obotaye no so. Wo PIP-TEST Institute no yebetumi aboa wo ni wabusuafo a muhia mo anyina ma wogye ayemodea. Ye ayaresabia sebi yebeboa wona a wato nsane nubone fa ntentan mu. Ayaresabia ibotaye ne se ebeboa adwuma mu nimdifo asuafo ni nipa ahodo nyina ama watu anamwa edikan a edifa ahodie bebre won. Mpanimfo a ye ne won di dwuma no bi ne won a wo hwa adwene mu yare afutufo ni adokotafo ni anesefo a wode won ho afiri nsanom ne nubone fa nsem. Yatete saa nimdifo yi na wo nimdia ne nyoma pa ebo ayarefo no. Na de atwam nso ne se ayaresan hyehyeye ni gina abelfo hyehyemu ni USA hyehyeye a wodidi dwuma no. PIP-TEST ayarehwe ne fie die nyina ayepe. Yayaresan hyehyeye no gu ahodo na ebi ne medical monitored detox program, residential rehabilitation. Yasan tumi fa ye nananom akwa ahodo so sayare na ebi nso ne group therapy, 12-step AAA programs, recreational therapy, ne nia ekeka ho. Oyarefo ne da akyehye ase bra ode ne nan besi biaye ho no a. PIP-TEST Institute ya belfo ayaresabia ehwe won a wado suko won sane nubone famu. Na ani wiase afa na hyehyeye nyina nso yepe. Adampa hodo a ye wonu bi ne VIP rooms, professional rooms, standard rooms, and air conditioned rooms. Laundry services ye free. Ahobambon nsem nso wo sro kama. Yesan obia ya osua de na eba no aduane sem de a uni hawkra. Ye na chukwan wo Kumasi kochi e wa Asante Mantam Ghana. Sa wo pentremu bia nso a mepa chow frayan wo 0245 849185 ana 0322 496188. USA Fonson frayan wo 404 735 7697. Abel Fontaine Tansu Behunu Yenwo www.marthaedu.org. PIP-TEST Institute, the Extension Center for Integrative Therapy home away from home.
Good morning to you once again. This is Insurance Minutes. It's brought to you by 𝗟𝗏𝗘 Insurance Company. Well, today we are recommending the contractors all risk policy. This policy is designed to provide cover for the risk faced by clients who are involved in all forms of engineering projects. The contractors all risk policy covers the loss or the damage to the contract's work, the insured plant and the machinery, as well as the liability to third parties in respect of death, bodily injuries, or property damage. Remember that you can only benefit from this particular policy if you have signed on to this policy and you pay your premiums on time. And so if you are a contractor or you're working in a space that involves plants and machinery, please do well to buy this insurance policy. Get yourself covered and get the third party that may step into that building also covered. Thank you so much for watching Insurance Minutes. It's brought to you by 𝗟𝗏𝗘 Insurance Company. Remember, it's Friday, and so if you're driving, please take good care of yourself. We want to see you in the coming week. We'll be back with more.
This is 𝗟𝗏𝗘. He's a good guy, but cannot stay away from unnecessary attention and flex. Yes! He received this brand new car from a relative abroad to work with, but decides to wait for a while before registering it. So now, with this uninsured vehicle and a DV plate, he flexes in every corner of the city. Hey. Don't be like 𝗟𝗏𝗘. Insure your unregistered vehicle with the chassis number with 𝗟𝗏𝗘 motor policy and stay covered. You can also take other policies such as personal accident insurance, fire and flood, money insurance, contractors all risk, and others. 𝗟𝗏𝗘 Insurance. If it must be done, it must be done well.
The Ghana Evangelism Committee presents the launch of the 50th anniversary, celebrating 50 years of evangelism on the theme, The Church Must Go, Matthew 28:19 and Psalm 145 verses 9.
Under the leadership of Apostle 𝗟𝗑𝗩𝗘, Chairman, Right Reverend 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗙, Vice Chairman, Reverend Dr. 𝗟𝗜𝗍𝗘, Planning Committee Chairperson, and Apostle 𝗏𝗏𝗡𝗩𝗘, National Director. Date, Tuesday, 25th February 2025. Venue, 𝗚𝗚𝗡 𝗟𝗜𝗩𝗘 Auditorium. Time, 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. sharp. Please note that all guests are expected to be seated at 5 p.m. Join us as we go out to share the gospel on this 50th anniversary. God bless you.
Do you want to avoid the heavy vehicular traffic in Accra after a hard day's work? Then enjoy a short stay in the new 𝗟𝗏𝗡 Towers' spacious and beautiful rooms. Our 6 suites provides a comfortable treat after a long day of exploration. Enjoy modern amenities, breathtaking views in the city of Accra's ambassadorial enclave, and the utmost comfort during your stay. The property gives you a warm reception in our main entrance foyer with a classic central chandelier lighting as you enjoy affordable sumptuous meals from our restaurant. We have in place male-female washrooms, spacious car park, and an on-site clinic. 𝗟𝗏𝗡 Towers is designed to make you feel safe, offering you the needed luxurious personal space. It comes with affordable pricing package. Please contact for details and inspection. 0503 109 978 or 0500 166 304, 0556 302 880 or 0243 614-423. Wesley Towers, offering you a safe, secured, luxurious space.
This is the Freeman Methodist Guest House Limited. It is a luxurious and comfortable guest house in the heart of Kumasi. Our guest house features a range of modern and spacious rooms, each with its private bathroom and amenities. Our guests can enjoy various on-site facilities, including a restaurant, conference halls, event center, spacious car park, CCTV cameras, lifts, generator, and many more. We are conveniently located opposite the Wesley College of Education near the Swami Roundabout in Kumasi and are easily accessible by public transportation. We look forward to welcoming you to the Freeman Methodist Guest House Limited. Contact us by telephone 050-650-8591 or 050-650-8592, or you can email us at fmghlghana@gmail.com or use our website www.fmghotelghana.com. Freeman Methodist Guest House, where serving you is our delight.
All right, a pleasant morning. Welcome back to the show. Yesinko nya se ana enkomodidie. Mankomo fire things that will endure to our benefit as a nation. It can be ebide, it can be susu enye bebrede, but ni nyina nkamfu ano o my chechere ana ye chechere. Se utwitwiri osia se de tie bia no moja kakra ebi fi mu aba, but it's all in furtherance to making sure say you have a clean white teeth and want to have a clean white Ghana in our deliberations. Well, this morning privilege to welcome all of you to your favorite Deru Esunim. Now this Deru may dedicate it to all our older citizens who are watching us. Methodist mame for mumfia komonim mempese mefre mo merewa isan se Methodist abrewa bia anim na minimum say ye mame no minimum say WTV manager ho pa nra me cobam library research commons na me si for mu say lady bia from also for Adzika na say minimum na so ye dem was me a PhD student dietetics na me ko Wesley Cathedral na me mame onfa wuni agro me mame obo ni mame age say ha so for Adzika me wa fans am wono enya senketo enti we are dedicating this show to all older women of our church. A special mention is a woman whose name is Minim the end of this idea, no man. I said, I love your Oba. Because Oba no Fanta, I say.
Ope, and I said,
Oba no Fanta. You better no Fanta.
Ah, okay.
It was Oba. Oh, okay. Is it Retasaki? Hagar, okay, all right. Mama Hagar Saki. Abanu Fanta, Mama Banu Fanta. Meba be beside the entire ya Banu Fanta. Because Obabro adi enka unshe da num Fanta dear. All right. Udubenum de muye shidi empachonka fano Fanta. Is as a Methodist for year no monsa. Again, the show is dedicated to all older citizens of our church. Ye ma penifo no nyina, you know no penifo, ye ma penifo nyina mo ye ma. This one is dedicated for you. Eja Taylor, welcome.
Baba, thank you very much.
All right. And na what you twa mu na me say o shefi di echi.
Na kankra. Yeah, I do this time now. Yeah, now your conferences no. So
beginning of the year.
No?
Okay.
This is a conference year for us for the locals, the districts, and the regions. Then God will January next year we'll do the national conference.
So you start at the point in time
at the lower levels.
Okay. Right. So at NAT, what is your main portfolio? What do you do?
Well, in terms of portfolio, I'm the head of organization and strategy at the headquarters. So I'm head of departments.
Organization and strategy. It's a big man post. It's a big man post. Okay, interesting. Interesting. All right, for Mr. Nicholas Taylor, Anna Yenino Edin Commune, Mr. Friday, the Ono Nawaje Captains Arms Band, Oko Komenko, or Anoko School. Church dia ti see die nat afa ne se omedi dwuma ewo eye na soye ono so oye the head of department for organization and strategy for the nat na afezu so ye ba Methodist asafo no so dia monim se oye formerly chairman of the great Winneba Diocese the Abuachiri people.
Yes.
Yes. So the Abuachiri festival, is it only celebrated by the people of Efutu, specifically in Winneba?
Exactly.
And as its environs.
The environs normally work join.
They fraternize.
But principally
it's
Winneba
by the people Efutu. Okay. Now, apart from Winneba for Efutu forward, do we have Efutus in other parts of Ghana apart from Winneba?
Historically, yes, but dominantly no. But yen senya edefa brekuna na you get some pocket of the people around and all that. But one kasenara no. Winneba.
Well, some people have said they say the Futu language is a derivative of some of the Guan language. I don't know how that is true. But sana manfo because
the Guan in Angazan, most of the languages, most of the Akan people know one root it tracer.
Okay,
it's from the Guan area.
Okay,
so I will not be surprised if that history is exactly true. But I believe that they may have some links to that particular effect. But with the Guan, it's something that is related so much to the Akan community. And whenever they mention the Guan people, if you look at the place they mention, you can see that in fact, I'm the fan of Akan. We move from that area. So
all right.
I think
that's it. So compliments to all Guans specifically, if it is true, the Futu people in Winneba. Name Winneba Diocese for method for Munina mo isansa mo de share pa kronkron and we see hey. All right, Mr. Taylor, let's go to Ura Mahama or Kasa. Ne boshe bi a wode share workers. By workers I will as a union leader no mo ka ho bi pa ni nyina ebefa amama. Now what President Mahama is saying at this moment and say he's calling on the labor unions to exercise some level of patience. It's say why na say for 2025 nebia na enuoma nhye dan koyi but 10% increment bi de odema ejumayefuo nyina na emum o say omunya entoboase kakra isan say ewiemu ba beyede omampani has addressed all of us and it would just be right that we listen to him from his office.
One thing that is a cardinal principle for us is to tell the truth at all times. We all knew the economy was in crisis, but some of the things I'm discovering myself, I mean, it's been a criminal handling of our economy. And Ghana is a crime scene, actually, because how a government can have been so reckless, I cannot understand. But we're faced with a reality, and our options are very few. We can behave like the ostrich and hide our heads in the sand and let the economy crash. But then what effect would it have on Ghanaian households and everybody? And so I've told him, I said, cut expenditure as much as you like. Even we ourselves in Office of Government Machinery, cut as much of our budget as you like, because we all must make those sacrifices. A certain distrust of the political class has arisen, because it's like when everybody else is tightening their belts, the political class is loosening its belts. But I want to assure you that we're all going to tighten our belts, and there will be no wasteful expenditure. It is said that we create and share. And so let's start cooking the meal now so that we can share when we have created. But right now, the meal is not only insufficient, the cooking pot is even leaking. And so I'll just appeal to you that let's temper our demands for this year. And once we get out of the woods, we've set good targets to bring inflation down so that the cost of everything will come down. We've set targets to grow the economy, to make things better. And when the cake is baked and it's bigger, we'll share bigger. We are proposing an independent emoluments committee that would set the incomes for everybody from the president right down to the ordinary laborer. We are prepared to walk this journey with you, but I just appeal to you that let's reach agreement on this one so that we use this year as the year of correction. And then after we've corrected, we'll see how the economy continues to go. Once the economy moves in the direction that we are all hoping for, we all, if we have an independent emoluments committee, maybe if you suggest 35%, I'll support you because it will affect my pay too.
His Excellency the President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama Ninyina and say, Jumayofui, Mona Moye, Ghana Nankasa, Nejapade, na Mesremo, the abetu enye, or use word be a crime scene. A crime scene, my pill me to my tree. I'm a debema crime scene, to me, until there no be a moment they don't take crime scene. Nase, or say, I feel 2025 feet dear. A bad thing, kakra correction. Say, why you work now? They are teacher, not teacher. Actual, correction. A teacher for some monk on Mungo shrimp. It's 2025 video, the year correction kakra. Name said the Tibiano. Said the M24 eta can say, and KBC so and care shawma. Entino, Jekakra. Je 10% kakra mvangonko ye de moye openi abra president Mahama e kasa na me kai abra na ye secondary school na ye university enumudwa on so uzo bi dwenu no mu a se de ogigina wo timi e kasa no enter is part of the communication skills so yes or treko so no atone bo asidi or the work akra obi buafu na waba but said you be nyam to boase an defe no akoma no etimi eto na I think that's the one quality
yes let me greet my union leaders and my teachers
where the audio mu pa audio
yes we negotiations course now young crow for expecting something higher. Okay. Especially if you look at the fact that in 2022, for example, we had an increase. 2023 was about 30%. Okay. I mean the highest so far that we received. So I think the idea was that for 2024 it came to 23%. Okay. Yeah. Now, unfortunately, looking at the posture of the president, you know, saying as a negotiation, sometimes you look at the facts the figures and the posture of the people on the table. So from the way the president was speaking, sometimes in negotiation we have what we call good faith, negotiation in good faith. In the negotiation, minim say so for phone me yanka mepe. Also feel said there are some reason why you cannot give me that phone. But won't inform me now because information I would be in so what in that case I understand where you are coming from. In fact, nanke ni misanka because about 10% to president acheche mu say nyoma enkoyi. For unions, nanka nyoma enkoyi ni ya de ehye that ase because we know how governments have lived in this country and we know some of the things that they do. But we should maybe say be all cut number of ministers or cut the celebration of the Independence Day, or cut down a lot of things. Ministers should not go first class. The first class also economy. Yes, first class. So it gives you some indication, say because maybe a new man on one case started with the 10%. We are not comfortable. That I must say, we are not happy. Say 10% penny in year, but under the circumstances, look at the way the president was speaking, especially our children say the economy has been say criminally managed. You see, Papa, edu baby your politicians no. And some do what as of met here. Say what can say here no, we should tighten our belt. We expect the people in authority to even tighten theirs more. All right,
so I think on that, he has demonstrated that. We are yet to see if it will reflect.
Correct. We are yet to see if it will reflect.
Yes.
It is the reflection. And I workers say, okay, what can say? We are seeing this kind of signs. Then let's go along with you. So more or less we had to compromise or had to accept it because we have to all build the nation.
But is the president also being very fair to the 𝗟𝗏 government, calling Ghana a crime scene, knowing say we had spent the last 8 years of our life with an economic wastegate. I mean, a presidency that was inaugurated under the influence of coming to revamp the economy with a zero tolerance of foreign aid. Na sam nyoma
So the previous administration in terms of the economy dear. Me economist, but
okay.
In terms of the economic management, because you see, to go to the extent that economy and watch you have to do domestic debt exchange program. People's monies that they have invested, we have to put on hold the payment for some time. I think it is just about last year that President paid the fourth one. I think MPP also paid 3 of the DDEPs, and then the Mahama has paid 1. To the extent that in Yomabia deductions are controller aye I say to me call tier 2 and to me uncle dues are say comma unions and to me uncle. I mean, so you ask yourself a day I'm gonna don't come pan yakoshema. Some of these things should be happening. Well, into the economic, as far as the economic management is concerned, no, but I'm also seeing the criminally managed I think those are strong words.
They are very, very strong words.
It's not good.
Say in all fairness, no. To say the economy was criminally managed and
Ghana
it's a crime scene.
I think there are 2 strong words from the president.
Okay, now let me read a post from Dr. Mohamed Amin Adams, who was finance minister at least for some few months before going out of office. Well, so 2 questions for government. How could an economy described as criminally minded able to afford increase in the base pay for public sector workers by 30% in 2023, 23% from January to June 2024, and 25% from July to December 2024, and still posted decent fiscal deficit? Now, what has changed between December 2024 and February 2025 that suddenly put the economy in crisis, which cannot afford an adjustment in the base pay above 10%? So this is also coming from the
finance minister.
Yes. That's what he's saying.
And that is where I become confused and worried.
So who is telling the truth?
That is the question. That is the question. And see, the impanofri or said that thing was robust, the economy was good, and the salary increase and all that. The current president is talking about the drastic nature of the economy. And to me, sustainable. So it reminds us of BIA taking power. It does all back BB After the previous government, who said things were very bad. You remember the OPPP time in Professor Mills' era? And all that. If you look at the things he said about what is the President Rawlings administration and all that, you see, I think that our politicians are not being.
I think our politicians are actually playing with our emotions.
Simple.
They are absolutely sitting on our cognition, but maybe measure. Now President Mahama patches a baby or to economy na se. Now Dr. Ming Adam so the figures be in percentile extrapolations about the form say ya de pa esan say o baso no sika ye ja wo futu e sika twitwiri di pa. All right, Ghanaians, what is the nature of your pocket? Yen ye kodwa so. Ye chop money, ema ye yinum kodwa so. Ema ye ma sika ekosuku. Ye je aketua. Now, how do you measure the economy the past 9 years? Ukotokuma yede. Ukotokuma jojo. How do we just oppose these two politicians talking as against yes? I think it is fair to
that is where I believe the president should focus. Oberton is saying, what can you do to improve the lot of Ghanaians? In fact, because of the mismanagement of the economy and other things, in Ghana for voting massively for John Mahama with the view say you put it in place. Omomodena onhwe na omomodena kakra obetumi aya Ghana for beto ye no omaye wonto ye even ono anko Professor Mills Efrimu may he so rest in peace ono kra take office no kra no omaye tiase say the meat is down to the bones.
Yeah,
ono ankasa from NDC to NDC kra no the meat was down to the bones, and I'm not surprised that from NPP to NDC it will be like this, but our politicians should be truthful to us.
Well, should we not give them the benefit of the doubt of that disastrous COVID-19, COVID-19, and Russia, Ukraine. Yedi Baba Gaza, Israel war, no so bad. Should we also not give them the benefit of the doubt?
Papa, it is true. COVID-19 was a devastation to many countries in the world.
Yeah.
If you look at it in terms of the economic gains, Sika, World Bank, a bag, the kitchen mono. It was not that bad.
Okay.
Again, if you look at other countries surrounding Ghana, is it only Ghana that was that badly hit by the economy? To the extent that if you look at inflation rate, ours was comparatively higher. If you look at a lot of things, ours was comparatively higher. What about the other countries in the sub-region? So that one is good. But I don't think that alone should be a reason say my economy nanku. And I think that our own management, our own expenditure, our own way of handling things, we didn't do much work.
All right.
And we expect new things.
Okay, sure. So the president has designated the year 2025 as a year of correction, except many are not happy with the nomenclature of a crime scene
and criminally managed
of an economy. But the first meeting of cabinet was held. And the finance minister reported to cabinet the nature of our economy. No, and the minister in charge of government communication, now, what he's saying is that the economy is in a dire state. Adriga, I say, all right, so let's go to the minister and listen to exactly what he said.
The final briefing was made by the minister responsible for finance. As you may be aware, we campaigned strongly on Ghana's failing economy. And indeed, our fears were borne out when the finance minister made his briefing. The situation is dire. The numbers are even worse than we had known in the period of the elections. But the minister, the president, and others involved in the management of the economy were confident that the proposals, the policy propositions, and the program that President Mahama has put on the table were sufficient to turn around the situation and lift the pall of economic hardship and despair that has hung over this country and its people all these years under the new Patriotic Party, where economic mismanagement and imprudent decision-making was commonplace. In a few days' time, President Mahama will be addressing Parliament. He will be delivering a message on the state of the nation to Parliament, and he will take the opportunity to delve deep into our current economic state, what we inherited, and what plans there are going forward to ensure economic revival and resuscitation. A few days after that, the National Economic Dialogue will take place from the 3rd to 4th March, and there too, various stakeholders in our economy, drawn from academia, civil society organizations, public servants, public officials, and other interested parties in the Ghanaian economy, will meet to deliberate on the state of affairs, and there too, further insights will be shared on the state of the economy and how we can collectively achieve consensus on the steps that need to be taken to ensure that we get out of the situation and are on the road to rapid economic growth and development. And then on the 11th of March, the finance minister will present his first budget, which would again explain the situation and indicate what government's policies are in respect of the economy and what measures will be rolled out going forward to achieve the objective of getting us out of this economic mess. So this...
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Minister responsible for government communication, Mr. Felix 𝗦𝗲𝗄𝗎. Well, in furtherance to that, the Office of the President has outlined the number of ministers who have been co-opted into forming President Mohammed's cabinet. I understand there are about 19 of them. Well, let's go through the list. Here we are near Mr. Taylor Amane comment. In Tikobana Sadia, they have had their first cabinet meeting, as I said earlier. Well, number one on my list, in no order of merit, Dr. Castle Forcing, MP and Minister, Montaka Mohammed Mubarak, MP and Minister for the Interior, Kwabena Minta Akando, MP and Minister for Health, Dr. Edward Kofi Omane Boama, Minister for Defense, John Abdullahi Jenapo, MP and Minister for Energy and Green Transition, Haruna Idrisu, MP and Minister for Education, Elizabeth Ofosu-Ejari, MP and Minister for Trade, Agribusiness and Industry, Emmanuel Ama Kofi Bua, MP and Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Oku Jeto Ablakwa, MP and Minister for Foreign Affairs, Eric Opoku, MP and Minister for Food and Agriculture, Samuel Nete George, MP, Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovation, Kwame Govins Agboja, MP, Minister for Roads and Highways, Ibrahim Mutala Mohammed, MP, Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, J. Kenneth Gilbert, Minister for Works, Housing and Water Resources, Ahmed Ibrahim, MP, Minister for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Agnes Na Momo Late, MP, Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Joseph Bukari Nakbe, MP, Minister for Transport and also an MP as well, and the last, Abdul Rashid H. Pelpo, MP and Minister for Labor, Jobs and Employment. So these are President. Have I left one?
Attorney General.
Oh, I left
right.
Top right. Oh, yes. How could I have left the venerable, the vociferous Dr. Dominic Akurutenga, MP and Attorney General and Minister for Justice? Yeah. Yes. Mr. Ayeni Shea, I'll be hey. Also for Adzika, why have you deleted my name from? It couldn't have been possible. I think for at least all the attorney generals I have seen with the Fourth Republic, all of them have belonged to the cabinet.
Oh yeah. In fact, there's no way. I mean, there's no way the Attorney General can be taken out of cabinet. Yes. You are the Attorney General on yeah abide the principal legal brain, and also you serve as the Minister for Justice, and so they be under there will be legal implications into what the Attorney General afutu that the mad to an obey under. So if you look at it, that the Constitution has been fulfilled. I was of the opinion that youth development and the youth development or Paris ministry, I think should have been Pablo's ministry, should have been cabinet ministry, but I don't know the criteria for which they
well, education is there.
But the youth ministry itself, now they have realigned as a youth development and sometimes ministry. Yes. But I think it's all good. The president has lived to 8 promise, so but she said the cabinet they putting together, so it has been.
It's still within the 120 days of
yes, and of course within 14 days, all the names for major ministerial appointment had already come out. And see, most of us, the expectation is now that the ministries have been put in place, the cabinet have been formed, they should demonstrate the confidence that the Ghanaians have reposed in them, so that all the things that we were not seeing right should be done right. And let us improve on and you must abide to a good no on twaso now on mine young. That is what we are expecting. As for the excuses and the comparisons and the what is it and some bebreno kakra. Now they should get to work and then make sure that Ghanaians are going to be alleviated from the system that we were into a better system. That is what we expect for. But we congratulate the president for being able to put in place the cabinet and all that.
Well, I see the rather fresh energy this group of cabinet ministers are bringing, relatively younger. In the past, even in President Mohammed's first term's cabinet. Now, but this time, I think he has a certain trust for the young people and the energy with which they come with. I think in no iota of doubt, most of them have proven say they are on top of their issue.
Yes, that's it's true. We are youngsters have been of late, the generation we are dealing with. I say, I'm paying for the Thomas Papa. Yet your colleagues now say change. And to say if you bring somebody who is a younger person, we can easily flow with the person. You bet me a change and na kokasa. You bet me a kanya samache no ono so otiase. But in penfono bebrena kaya say the young people should take their time, they should study. It's not your time yet. Munchan kakra, that kind of thing. But I can tell you there are young people who are doing very well in various fields, in academia, medicine, teaching, whatever. They are doing well. So if you look at the cream of young people who have been appointed in this particular position, I am very happy. The only challenge we have is that young people in your position be now the possibility of being proud, the possibility of trying to think that I have arrived, the possibility of thinking that I can do it alone also becomes in. Okay. And so that is why I want to appeal to the people who have been appointed. Okay. They need to justify the confidence in the young people. So that Obion will say, oh, yeah, the more next time, let's bring more people into the system.
Mr. Teller, shortly, let's relate this to church. Okay. I followed you, and when you were voted upon, nominated and voted upon to become lay chairman. A very young person around the time. And no doubt, I think that the church for some times has suffered the fact that we are friend to me opening kwane kasa. Sometimes even in ministers, it happens. Sebio say Oba ministry. Unye ni paatwa sao. Be a head of department or hospital, head of department or school are watching at the end of now. So the fact is say when ya ababe so fukuma nkwade. Why do you shut down? And sometimes I think it's and no, I can't gamsu as
yes, gamsu. I watch your interview.
Gamsu penny for no more can say, hey, and baby on almost 1,000, 2,000. 20,000 Gamsu population leader, and they said they are 64,000. And if there's a connectional Gamsu yes, sir, and easy.
Yes, you can. So we share that number. How many dioceses in this country
within this?
And almost a number.
Yeah.
And see, even double control is more than a bishop of a diocese. Yes. maybe the presiding bishop not asked for that or his entire country.
Yeah.
But as far as the bishop is concerned, well, not many are saying, but this person control over 60,000 people. So you can see that that person had the ability to coordinate, the ability to respond to their needs and all that. And better sana, I say you're paying for no. We will never put them away. Never. We can't do with them without them. Yes. You see, one of the challenges are you face as young people in high positions. They say, until say that is it. Because at 37 I was elected as a late chairman.
I think one of the youngest.
No, so far the youngest.
The youngest so far. You see, I wanted to say the youngest so far, but I didn't have the fact.
Because 37 years. When I finished
late chairman,
37 years. But this position that was about over 50 years and 60 years people. And so why is that? Like at one time, so Mr. Boafo, one past late chairman.
Okay. Lawyer Boafo Esquire.
But it was during the one of the last sessions of by visit diocese. No by your share, no my course. In fact, initially, and it has opened the way.
I think said the current administration, Nyamiadom Papa Boafo Eshasie, say Oma Emofra to
and one thing I'm also happy is that people like the past late president, Papa Boche, Mr. Pratt, Professor
Onlins,
yes, they all encourage the young people. You saw Antaraba when he was about leaving the Sentinel, looking at how I was going to, but he knew that maybe I could take over. And I think that they are doing.
I think the current presiding is also doing well to
push the young people together. I want also to appeal to young people. And yet, Germany now nobody was so nima ubenyesika.
Yes, you too no do.
And also, if you are so sika, someone say a shaka. You see, Sawama a Jumanu endi wenim. Nasa uma sika edi wenima ube brass a young person.
Okay.
Work na nkwafu musa ube tume. Look, as I speak, Samako baby, one more young boss of Benia ube tume. I can readily mention say Sofajika ube tume because I know what you have done.
Yeah.
You are not demanding. You are not asking for money. So the work is your focus.
Okay.
Ebene sana obia who say, oh, when I take this young person, obeye juma ejuma did the corresponding benefit ebaba. But some of the young people now can say, that kind of thing. We have to minimize that one and sacrifice for the elder to see that we are capable of doing it.
All right.
When the opportunity comes, it may come with its own benefit.
All right, Mr. Taylor, that's it. But I feed you with the monetary value ever so. But we are called to serve, and it's not only about the money. Once you are serving, people are watching you. And you also be to me within the church. There are MDs, there are people who below 50 who are doing so well. Who are young people? It depending for yes, Ramunso yemu ye tu no kakra de, but munso yemu na BBNTV enye kama. I will serve.
The church.
I will serve
the church.
All right. Mr. Taylor, yen to aso closak asem so aba betodwa. Na yen nyina ye hu said the omu di tumi hye mu say omo co strike because of birth and deaths openya ye ni say womra na womra mehwe. Be me say some people think say it's really uncalled for. There's a misfeeling with closak strike. No?
Yeah, Papa, a bit too young.
Okay.
Maybe to teacher unions.
Okay, teacher
unions. When Dr. Nkansa was appointed Director General of Ghana Education Service, we felt that government was not being fair to us because over Ghana Education Service, your progression, we have scheme of service. Director General, and so far many of the Director Generals free system
went through the ranks.
Okay. Sometimes the free system understanding no better kakra. Na so fi baby basa na ya kwese sabe ye na your system no mu no obi an nim dia betum dia adwuma no, and we think you are belittling our image. There were 16 regional directors and I think about 4 or 5 of division director at headquarters. Question is into obi an to me ya na and you started say yeah agitations. In fact, we called for strike. Now your members will be anti. And in unionism, when you call for industrial action and you don't get the buy-in of your members, you are dead. It been an area to close up for you. Close up for so I can say, I don't butcher was a former DCE for I think it's Modern Brakwa, and obviously a politically exposed person, and he needs to occupy a position, and they are registered, they are calling for strike. Members are thinking that, oh, in fact,
he's also worked in the system.
Into a condition of service. Some fight here, more said the now you are talking about somebody who has been in a position, which is the prerogative of the president. Teacher for year, no. I call National Labour Commission. And now your meeting. Say, if there is any rule or law existing that the president has gone against that, we should produce. Because in law,
and it's the same that is happening to
the director general
government's position.
The director general of the GES and the deputies are an appointment by the president, sometimes on the advice of the GES council, but advice sometimes let's look closer for if this and that's our members no. Esther to say almost to try movie strike anymore. They should be careful. One share people will now be castigating the leadership. So I say more BB. But while appealing to Clocksack to maybe go for negotiation or discussion on the way forward, I also want to appeal to our government, our presidents. So mobile, you want to for system if you look at NCA, somebody from NCA was appointed to the Director General. If you go to Ghana Gas, somebody was appointed from there. Of course, it will be but I think that they should also value the knowledge of the people in the system. Look, GS one time you cover HRB by. Oh, you're very good HR or other places, but over GS no. In fact, I'm papa. Into the ambassador say, baby, we should also consider the knowledge in the system, and that will help us a lot to be able to move the A forward. But the person has been appointed. It is the prerogative of the president. They were relying on a particular ABI Supreme Court Kaye. Say if the person is politically exposed, the possibility of maybe bringing his political influence on it. But I think we have to look at it.
Is it not also the fact that the president had created such an eclectic pool from which his appointments were coming from? Of course. So there were some that are politically, so purely political appointment. Even within that, there were party of officials or party officials who fought against it. There are also places, technocrats, I said, okay, NC our own, where a lot of party members kicked against it. People even said, hey, he's an MPP.
Even
GRA. And so and all that. Gridco and all that. And so what about that? How do we create the balance, the equilibrium?
For those of us who are outside the political arena, we may not know for party. Sometimes these people that they think they are not party members, they may have contributed enormously. But they have done some things underground, and they know what they have done. Some people too, based on pure competence. Just like NCA, Ghana Gas man, Matisse, even in Africa also, he's one of the very key people as far as energy, gas, and issues are concerned, or very, very knowledgeable in it. So if you have such a person,
why do well, on that accord, the Ghana Gas, the West African Gas Pipeline Company, WAPCO, has announced that 70% of the maintenance work and war, until now it is enkunimudie for us because doom sono it won't really happen as some people anticipated. Just a minute on that.
One of the news items of some of the TV stations. Now they were talking about say doom sono unity war Ashanti region, and I saw some Jen said being run and all that. You see, I think that there's a challenge in the system currently because of the WAMCO repairs of their pipes. And to say, I don't 70% within this time there. It's a huge relief. And I think that if they're able to complete 100%, to be able to forestall this doomsday thing, nobody expects doomsday to come again because it has serious effects.
A former minister of energy, people should come with their own timetable. They take, but people are obviously complaining. Said there are pockets of. But the ministry is explaining to the fact to say sometimes there are regular maintenances that are done which will sometimes disrupt power. I think there's a threshold.
Of course.
Maybe I didn't do it
because sometimes for 2 days lighten them back, for 2 nights we are not getting. So I think that if we're able to work on it to affect doom so, it will help all of us and they should work at it.
All right. Yeah, Mr. Taylor, one of the interesting things about politics and in current times, the Fourth Republic politics has been the insistence on the rule of law. The rule of law. Emranya nejuma. I think say emra bako aye juma ma edi akwetia MP. Na eno ana akwa ne say enra ye de tudwa nani nansa so ye de tudwa ya kire say papa yi esan say court eka say mu nsi eyemra hwebedwam esan say ababa to court say say asem bi ye ka mo call ye ntino court apa kire say yemra ne yemhwehwe ne mra ama bench warrant cry ya issue no ana MPP for ede ababa betudwa say sam radio omso so omachro krata ede call for a stay of execution na enyoma bi atotoni.
Papa, solidarity is good, but so be our group na or ye bibia onhwe say the consequence may come on him or herself.
Okay.
As some way ABC ebra ye to aba for Speaker Babin the first time. 𝗟𝗜𝗍𝗘 asem north.
Yeah.
Na womo aye court ruling. Yes, of course the circumstances are ruling no every Cape Coast ebedu parliament within some few hours no, it was quite bizarre. But then it had come. That time they ruled that the person can vote. The person voted. Of course, the complainer didn't go for contempt. Into 𝗟𝗜𝗍𝗘 F and Hoodie. And the Yaba Edanidi. I learned the gentleman is a student of law or something. Bibisa. You see, edu bebia. Yemfa obuo emma the institutions. Much as we expect Parliament to be respected, we expect also the judiciary also to be respected. Yatun Safro say bra asem way wo court. Lawyers ako and say because of this there is an injunction for 10 days. Don't go and go to parliament or don't hold yourself as a parliamentarian. Then you go and vote. On the floor, the clerk was saying that Mensaka papers actually said this person cannot be. Then Mr. Fanyomakin comes in to say that he has instructions from the colleague say Obatwabano. The consequence should be
we akwakoye Israel for na yedi Yesu Kristo akogina Pilato enim Pilato say onu de wo ahoro nsa edu omunyi nipa ba akwa yenya no emomo koyi Barabbas ama nkrofo egigina mu say look let the consequences be anything moja no
come on us
and even to our fourth generation ebi na ya to but let's go and listen to the legal counsel for Mr. 𝗟𝗏𝗃 aka 𝗟𝗏𝗃𝗃 omo dim say 𝗟𝗏𝗃 something 𝗟𝗏𝗃 fine boy or something there's a name they give to. All right, but beyond ansana yebeko na yakotie lawyer no yenko deputy minority whip na yenko konkotie ye de ono so kan from the point of parliament.
Ghana's democracy thrives on fairness, the rule of law, and the principles of justice. The actions taken against Honorable Ernest Yaokumi threaten not only his rights, but also the very foundation of our democratic processes and principles. The judicial system must not be weaponized to serve partisan interests or undermine the will of the people of Akwetia. We call on all well-meaning Ghanaians, civil society organizations, and the relevant authorities to ensure that justice prevails. The law must be applied fairly, and due process must be respected. Any attempt to subvert the democratic will of the people through judicial overreach must be resisted. Ghana's democracy is bigger than any individual.
You would recall that
it is our collective duty to safeguard it, whatever steps. When you are dealing with someone who can now be termed a biased judge and you are not too sure of what he stands to do next, you don't share your strategies out. So let's keep our weapons under our little carpet, and then we would release them as and when.
You would recall that sometime last week we moved an application to have 𝗟𝗏𝗃 Yaokumi convicted and sentenced to prison for his willful disobedience to the orders of a court of competent jurisdiction. That's the High Court of the Republic of Ghana. You would also recall that this case has been on since the 31st of December 2024. And the case essentially has been that 𝗟𝗜�10, that's our case, that he was not validly elected. We followed up with a motion for interim injunction, which motion was granted for 10 days. Now, on the day that the 𝗟𝗑𝗎𝗍 was served with the said order, he filed an application to have it set aside. Now, the court heard the application and on the 6th of January 2025 dismissed it, and thereby insisting that he should not hold himself out as the Member of Parliament elect. He willfully disobeyed the orders of the court and went straight to Parliament and availed himself for him to be sworn in as Member of Parliament. And he has since then been calling himself out as the Member of Parliament. We are a country of rules. We decided then to petition the court, pursuant and consistent with the rules of court, which is under 50 of CI 47, that he had willfully disobeyed the orders of the court. Now,
all right, so that is Bernard Bedu, the advocate, rather, for the NDC. Well, at the appropriate time, the 𝗟𝗑𝗎𝗑 ede ne lawyer so ede babe tu dwa no will let you also know as well.
So also no comment on okasa wakasa.
I said no comment. No, it's also part of. We must actually play the fact that he said no comment. But earlier on, deputy minority whip so ana yetene kan. All right, Jerry. I mean, I didn't know share. Now, Ubijina microphone chief for the first time, you can actually see. So you can actually see how the person struggle. But my also I know Ojinechira no person so but your next time mabuana nenimwaba because TV is so near. Yes,
so I am getting a little worried.
Yes, what is your worry?
My worry is this: identify politicians, so more power. I say woman so judiciary. Woman to me na omope. Woman ko opposition pe. Now judiciary no aye being weaponized
all of a sudden the judge is a purported biased judge.
The prayer somewhere started, it was in December. Even elections.
Yes.
It was MPP that was in power. At what point did the judge become biased?
All of us transmogrified from
and some NDC I can find judiciary and the MPP so started can judiciary. And see, I don't tell politicians no say they be quote here want to mean to me say nya it's we accept our fate. Look, the question there buy NDC for cancel bebre if judges for who we shall ruling at force in day until the Court of Appeal acquitted and discharged them. NDC was always castigating the judges. Bam, 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 bam. Today, NPP has started. Now, Jerry is accusing the judiciary of being weaponized for partisan interest. So, at what point can we see the judiciary to be fair?
The neutrality.
It's a Kotia NDC there, they will speak against it. A Kotia NPP, they will speak, but when it's in their favor, they keep quiet. Anyway. How are we building this kind of society?
Wow.
I'm getting worried as a young person because you see,
I think not the best. We are doing ourselves a big harm.
And fortunately, the minority have indicated that they are going to appeal the decision, which is good. They should use the court system. Appeal. Appeal in the court, appeal court to say, oh, nyawaya and you're correct, and to setting aside that. Then we move on.
Let's use
but
the law.
The use of the words by political parties against the judiciary, trying to think that they are always biased, they are in the pockets of the government. When they are in power, they are okay with the judiciary and everybody. When they are out of power, they have to castigate them. We are not building a strong society.
Well, we may need to redefine the parameters of our politics and the usual outpour of our grievances to the public and social media rather than taking them to the court of law. Is it what you think and what you feel rather than what the law says? Let's all try and create a homeostatic balance for the country.
It's very important. The democracy must grow.
It must grow. All right. Now, an Indian company is also in the dark doing some very, very, very bad things. They are in the business of churning unlicensed drugs into the public space. Now, I'm wondering how that company has existed without those requisite licensure to be able to do what they do. I think that they are still holes in our point of entry. Point of entry na porous.
Very porous. Very porous, and it boils down a see our intelligence gathering, our security intelligence gathering, and you maybe to me see now security for any way until say then escalate. And a banisana will be say a banisana sa company way etumi atena say aye sa nyoma way na are we not picking signals? Sir and drona eba out no. What is the Food and Drugs Authority doing? Have they licensed them? Do they have any surveillance? Almost surveillance mutumi ye. Say periodically yam kwhwe draw way yaman lines and yaman lines and how can we sit down as a nation without picking some of these intels to be able to gather information to fight some of these crimes? You see, and Ebanisana now Quarcoo said that Nancy Asamayeka said if you go to some of our forests, 9 good forests in Ghana. Sagalam say for etumi akofa heavily armed to the extent that they have prevented the Forestry Commission of the Republic of Ghana from accessing. How do
I think that we are in danger, but Mr. Taylor, before you go there, BBC African Eye, and I'm wondering why they got an African eye and didn't have European eye. But whatever it is, this is a documentary by BBC African Eye. Our investigating India company beyond the Enubone. Sebe yen to mu alliances bia na so na ni nyina no piamba Africa nti kwabrane na chire ne ho akohye kuntu na se epia no mo ka se sa nuro no enubone a wonom baako obanum mienu akoye se bo fruit udi baako abedi mienu adi miensa no ana ye ka ho asem yi it's a very dangerous
thing, especially when it's about food, drugs, water, things that we consume directly. And so we draw with the view say, "Oh, federal man want to." I feel the okofa yare, akofa how.
Almost saying,
yes, some of them draw and the youngsters when they see some of these, especially where they think it will boost their strength, it will boost their knowledge, whatever. No, they will go for it at any rate. They will take the medicines and then the health implications. And when the kakra no, na a draw be when the person was young, it is not having effect on the body. And I think it is something we need to look at so that our Food and Drugs Authority, our standard authorities, they should just look at how they can pick intelligence, even in Ghana, and where they think that, oh, the person is not here, maybe our Cote d'Ivoire, maybe our Burkina Faso, but our channel be or the drone about Ghana. All these channels, we need to be able to trace it and try to nip things in the bud. Our young people will keep drinking or taking these medicines, and then the implication will be on the entire country.
Yeah, Mr. Taylor, see, the fact is that these companies are not working in isolation.
Yes.
It's an Indian company.
Yes.
It is a syndicate.
It's a syndicate.
It also means to say, Wakabranibi, Esumesibi Bentimbi, Esigana ha. Wano na eji nuboni ejiba. As whether so obema ne manumbia.
It is something we don't know. It will be on the market. And sometimes the way they advertise it.
Come.
Into what you say, oh, a dim song, and so what now it rather give you more complications, health complications than helping you.
All right, enti for minimum and answer wakoto drama, dear doctor, Eka said Drunibeyer no, and no crowd in Sunsan, so be San Brewana, India company be, and was shebe, no pan. In Ponia say nipa asa a drone winya no pair Obonibeka say you'll be dependent on it for some time unless say you do afa a year and movie I say you bit me detoxify minim say wakoto a drubi but yeah person but it will be a very suspicious spot. Well 0256253461 0538350625 and a phone lines now yedi AD and common yedi komo bebre President Mama what designated economy as a crime scene. Afezora I mean Adam Wababeka said that be president okasa enye ya ka close up for asem strike aye kwa say kosroko bo bi te ho bi mpeso moko minority chief episoso den sama baba betudwa ya ka ni nyina ebiwa afi nanka ye say ye kwa akoka eye wayeka wode eye ensebia baba betu nooks for mutimi ko mo your friend is a demonstration am person moko but yes ye nhwehwemu. All right, let's go to Tabora Alaji. Matthew. Yeah, this show. Me pacho. Yeah, New Testament. No, book ni edidi kanyo. Matthew.
Macho so for me away.
All right. Any kasa.
And Friday macho mama akonya na minchi abi so for. So for domle ke answer ni boy man secret so for. Super order no na yes so for order prince officer no. Madam Lovia Lamti na pay michiamu Western TV so. Openi akwatia MP na 7 na meka kakra. I said, tell me, so for penny kind, no, say, as a CC and I say, the party be our power. Judicial and any, because so here, Tom and this year, all opposition, you know. Yeah, there are some quarter, 7 nail, 9 nail, with 0 nail. You know the most MC. And every coachia, MPP didn't almost say, hey, abandon a judicial, young Munu. And I said, this is a be a ordinance as a quarter, wait away. Say, I'm penny for an international man, yes, I'm a master perception and through. They be a young years war, you do share system no more. And now, a press conference or we jagba. The same as I'm also a bit and two. I think they will meet and to get you on Ghana could defend you. Also, then I'm going my ever, and you won't say, I'm ready to do our work with that.
Wow, Ghana, our motherland. It's much our heritage. All right, there go, Kumasi. Philo morning.
Papa, good morning.
Good morning.
Patron, I'm
Amiadum.
Mr. Taylor. Papa, why papa?
Yeah, that's papa.
Papa, which I did, I don't feel like Papa, Patrona, okay, see our white.
Richard.
Me patro kan onsem no filo kan ko onsem no so.
Afi mi hunu.
Ko wasem no so. Ko wasem no so.
Papa me ko ma asem so na ma me chia ma me Mary a chia blobi. Ene osofo penny samwa. Anti age be poso me chia. Ana eda form. Papa me ko glory asem no so. Penny bi kan asem bi tire me say. Ye be to aba. Politicians in pennyfo ni rem no ma ba ya bo ayan ye wi a ye be ma opposition we be ma opposition no de ne sika ene na japade nyina rem we ma me wi say ye no kre enti gross adwuma ye fo no do mo ye no omo ntwitwa so because say ya je papa ni japade bi afri ni cham say ye be ma opposition we ya o ye den ye de be ma no but emfa kwem entwa ye eni pa na adwuma no se oni adwuma ni mu na oni hu nimde na ukofa ni free baby e de ne ba be hye ho a de bia adwuma ye fo ni benya problem e bia omo ne benya problem ti yesla wo mo omo ma niama go through fama wo mo se e ko ne munja kata asese na wo ma agi papa nya me ka mo no ne munya adwuma me kwa mo bia be.
All right, you. Any we so dia yonko odudu. Good morning.
Good morning, yes.
I just say boko there.
I saw for no watching.
Yabru.
And the make a penny say, former family so called Adzika. It's the year. And the year who are going the international creditors, you print your book, but Adzika to you will say. On top of the contract the bear, almost Mosika 70. Tinamusika, at the owner now 1 year. Economy and I say no, who are political organ, I can say, President another new pro for no economy again, not Vincent. I'm here so the cost commission in cost, but you say economy, you know, inflation can cause 54%. Hey, you can bring them out here, we see Bremu, but a free pass economy. It is a confidence this what to nema. I'm not to talk was no more just another if I just got to one IMF, the IMF 3 billion, but also 7 billion. Abba. Women in the Kwamaya.
All right. Yanko 𝗦𝗏𝗄 Kwame, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Otombo morning.
Nyamiadum.
Yada yamiato. So
Nyame pese me kan say politicians and after two political parties for more than NDC. Ya no mo di kan na fuji a protest. Mera president to power 2021. 2001. No sigana. President made about 2009. That's seminar even Muhammad of my year 2013 or 2. And if you make it the same comment, a Kufuado by and seminar President Muhammad by and seminar office. Now, Major Hamid, the name is a position from a person. What would do what makes here? One shame you not to send you. Said one of the glasses. Ever to other years, or to the end of to be. And I thought for you can't have on the LGBT any gallons, a mobile town, talent. It's the American only done. Now we are well released by me. Let's say start and talk to you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yes, so yeah, that's Yanko Mankesim. Na any Jerry Enkudi Enkomo. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, it's awful.
Bajo yetio.
Yo, my poem to say.
Nyamia domo.
The Nyamia say. I don't pay the American say. In fact, this week in Kwana Mediato, and I'm going to do an opam. Yes,
okay.
Yes, because Nami Tiada stations, Nami say had ye, I say Bano, ye Jumane, and this week in Amesio made fun to watch. I made a 200 when this start. No, I hadn't children. In fact, me tea and if you fun to baby, and I'm sorry, this is me bomb basso. Saying I'm in Cosuna when someone I send him with Fiano to me say, BBI catches and BBI. Yeah, come on. So I'm going to how be am now. Come out.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, you into the abasobodio. Ahani I can't say the Yesu aha or can be a crap party color be a party card be a crib. Say workers ye be a kojibi so a chill so some year but do be a crab so far. Mr. Tell us so crib. Trauma. All right, Evans, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Me pacho yetiewu.
Okay. Yeah, me so much drink a crab me work can it.
Yes.
Nyame Ramo. Nyame enshramu aduma pa oye na. Yentie wa Ivory Coast.
Okay. Oh, osofo evangelist nie.
Yes, sir. Yes,
okay,
sir.
Okay. All right.
Michia. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Niame work with the Ghana. Niame and my friend is over here. Niame and we are mobile. I don't know. Ogo kan na wa ban ni power we enemy na ebe den na obi ye na tempo ye na tumi no na wa na ni boni ni amesra ni se mo ma ye mo ya na ye hu se so obi ye no to ye no ye na ye kana ye wa continue mu no. Oh yeah, I na ye. Say baby ma e peda baby I out say e Ghana. Uti ni amesre ni dem na
all right. Okay.
Nanya ejesono ye papa de mo na fa me
yo yes so yeah that's it nyame nshraw eni dwuma pa Momboma Methodist asafo no ewo Ivory Coast evangelist nyame nshraw All right. Yanko Chifu Himaina Yene Dina Including Como. Oba Hima Macho.
Good morning.
Morning. Yeah, this you.
Okay, me Macho. So the person has a family revoking of appointment.
Revocations.
According to those who are yet to place on the last year, September, at the College of Education, 2022. A dystropia, but so because you move the real high, staff ID. That means young fire call payroll. So, if you be say, Bisa, Umbeclare, and say, yeah, can one say, yeah, can home. That's the College of Education.
Oh, no, you're employable a month, Bay. Online, no, Mr. Jinaye.
I'm about September.
Oh, September before elections, see me boy. Okay, what do you say? Retrenchment no on sank and cancer letter ni bikura. Okay, now Okoya no ye tua will be crada.
We can't find the crown by.
We be my okay. All right, and the sector of education.
Education, yeah, Tamba.
Okay, all right, okay. Inti openi so obechire mu kakra wa inti koso ama we fidie no na ha. Why?
Me by from me fa Kenya is why we say me Papa Reverend for the same what thing. Trinity Society of Quarcoo. Happy birthday.
All right. Yo inti say ubetumi afa ne photo any words yibra na yemfa ento fafa WhatsApp ne so na yemfa ento afidie ne so nka ho. Why? All right. Yenko Sammy ho. Sammy, good morning.
Good morning, Christ inti.
Yeah, this show. Asamanka say mo ho ye de.
Okay.
Yeah, the radius. Yeah, the radius.
Me went to my case the name Bishop. Yeah, right Reverend Isaac. Come boasting. Damia me den survivor Chiano.
All right.
Na we there papa of we there. Me dey libre pa na afre. Me na nsamo ye ya dey pa na kuma the person na kuma the 40. Why the lines na bosumba ye ntumi afre bi.
Ah, o kan ai gamek for ba ye no ho.
My friend President, I am with the pastor said the way we said the winner a Ponoquada Comasi and Quebec.
I can see come on, Giazaya Shapono.
Oh, but and made me home from intimate to me, me program now.
Okay.
And as a program, I'm from about Moyade. Yeah, I mentioned Shamo. You go to some pie, I mean some pie.
Okay.
On my nephew, so yeah, bomb pie and fat and dry. And now, quite podcast with the Ankara. Edumaya in fact, and you're disappointed at Grand, so you're born by a Sanko Buana. Yamia, my next year, Cono. Yanibajia Cana. 10% to the apart, and wow. Ebeka can say. Ebeka can say, so there is a
ever fun, sir.
Near Marco.
All right.
Saying, no, can I do weekend idiot? None, I may sense. A weekend, a year near me when you go on Fanyam Bra. It is that time you are saying yes, then TCC no. I go on boy on combo beyond Hobine.
Okay.
Now, on my dad upon so and in the hole. The uncle pong and so now.
All right.
Me and Coy and Jimaso.
Yo.
Now on Fayambra.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yemfa of refu chat to okra. Honorable Quarcoo citizen. Honorable worry. When I chat to okra and to worry. Now, honorable way. Papa, you're afraid chat to or see what the radius pass a cheddar when we know. Kumasi Academy. Oh, Kumasi for
Papa, Naka, a Puniba Kumasi Crank Castle, Kumasi dear. The Atiana, Kumasi, a poor anyhow crown league with some show.
Okay.
I got entertain you come.
Nina a tourist attraction. Nina a tourist attraction.
Papa, William Bamifa and Checkers young comma, Sister Anita and Bedu, the Connection MGF chairman, Obojumapa. Papa, make a cry after the revocation of appointment. The can baby sense and cat. Can the mania? Nanka a bina bano one day. Na call moi a biny trail me far or mono. There were 4 more quite papasso. no more qualification in Kwa dea and can maintain warm. On other side, said ye late appointment is ana ayana a chance of kakra. It is going forward, you know. Say abaya abay one also have a tremua. One rest on quiet late appointment bebre. Now the next government national man being one samonka. Yeah, or minus are. Yeah, in to create jobs for the people. Now every baby we actually know now one more money be known in a next year. And I ain't papa Ghana be now Pejuma, Sika Mutian, do any of my password yet. No mum, Sanya man, Koso, or Manua, and Wow Mino.
All right, yeah, better say honorable owner who try to cry, Emma. Ms. Attila.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Papa, quality of education for they have a different system. Okay. Normally, when they complete the following day now or mobile system, they are able to generate their system. So they come into the GES system, the GES opposed. Okay. So for the graduate from the quality of education, problem any workers. The challenge is with Woma call other tertiary institutions. Be a portal put in their maybe I don't know whether they are the letter of appointment didn't come on time or whatever. They are the challenges we are having. But I will go with the last speaker. Namas as a president. Ejuma. Sir Ben said that the procedure was wrong there. That one they can rectify the procedure. Interview cry be Oman Kobi. Obi okwa protocol bi basa na ya kan wegum sesande no be rectify fine but obi a genuinely wo ma fa na wo ma appointment and there san hodin wo hɔ a president on hwe na
so omu ye nhwehwem
yes I think omu ye nhwehwem I think they should investigate na say hodin wo hɔ a the president should let it go so that it doesn't become a cycle. Last time NPP for a year kakra it says so because the best na me yanko the best president say san hodin wo hɔ na say if the people were employed through the right procedure there on share na on year. Now next time no send the papa na kind no. Yan share say we can do this thing before December because my thinking is that if you employ somebody in December, said appointment takes it from January based on what budget.
That's what
sometimes we should be
generally
realistic.
They have said.
We should be realistic. However, if the opportunity is there, the president should temper. Is it justice with justice?
Whichever comes first.
We are grateful to all of you for this. And Florence and my children, I greet them so much.
All right. Omojo. So, it's for dear Diabesi and Pitri. Ye see her. Nafi ye try your home aba ye ba can we say ye call agro no man so agro no was so there ija if you agro so pena ye baba betna say and ye foster parenting to be antinefi mo kanyum abeku no ye foster chana na so ye dene abeku and they be discuss abeku ewo ye fidie so osofo ab ebeba na oni ababa be disan community mo nkoso na mo thank God it's Friday. Well, compliment to our sponsor of this program, Christian, friend saying, Freeman Methodist Guest House. Freeman Methodist Guest House. Mr. Taylor, yeah, that's the same. All right. So, good morning, Freeman Methodist Guest House.
This is the Freeman Methodist Guest House Limited. It is a luxurious and comfortable guest house in the heart of Kumasi. Our guest house features a range of modern and spacious rooms, each with its private bathroom and amenities. Our guests can enjoy various on-site facilities, including a restaurant, conference halls, event center, spacious car park, CCTV cameras, lifts, generator, and many more. We are conveniently located opposite the Wesley College of Education near the Swami Roundabout in Kumasi and are easily accessible by public transportation. We look forward to welcoming you to the Freeman Methodist Guest House Limited. Contact us by telephone 050-650-8591 or 050-650-8592, or you can email us at fmghl fmgghana@gmail.com or use our website www.fmghotelghana.com. Freeman Methodist Guest House, where serving you is our delight.